mood has so much to
Right.
do with it. I
So-
mean, what happened
And
the
the
day
people
before
you're
or
with,
something. Yeah.
and I mean, there's individuals that um, that believe so much into the biodynamic calendar that it depends on if it's a root day or a flower day or a fruit day, and that wine is going to taste different on any of those given days. In my mind, the point system is a flawed system to begin with. I think it provides a basic roadmap for individuals that need a roadmap, but fortunately, it is becoming less significant in our industry as consumers in general are trusting us as professionals more to do our job, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. And what about another topic that's been kind of a hot button issue is ethics in tasting and giving scores. There's been discussion of maybe money being handed out or people having dinner with a winemaker or something like that. Where do you think the line should be drawn to have no ethical quandaries when tasting and giving scores?
I mean, I think that ethics comes up in the wine industry all the time.
Daily.
Yeah.
Whether it's a critic that is accepting travel or accepting payment, right? Or whether it's a wine buyer at a retail outlet or a restaurant or a distributor or anything. Like, you have to talk about all these. Like, we talk about this a lot in terms of the ethical nature of it.
Yeah,
right?
It's not critic specific. It's
No.
industry.
It's the wine industry, right? And as it's any industry though. Like,
right.
Like, as long as there's money in exchange for goods, folks are going to try to bribe people, and there's a certain number of people that are potentially going to be on the take. It's just
right.
It's what it is. So what we all attempt to do is we all just have to establish our own ethics and
right.
and all work within our own integrity,
mm-hmm.
right? I mean, that's all we have.
So I guess overall, if you look from the beginning of the rating system to where we are now, good thing, bad thing for the industry, for wine drinking in general? I mean, where are we at?
I think it was a great thing when it started. I think it kind of got overblown. I think that ratings began to dictate our industry in a way that I don't think it was necessarily meant to at the beginning, and we as an industry became controlled by it. I'm glad to see that we are kind of backing off of that now. But I feel like ratings got us to where we are, and I'm happy that we are now kind of moving away from it, and that there are individuals that are standing against it and saying we're not going to do this.
Right.
I think it allows us as professionals to do our job. I hope that it allows the consumers to lean on us a little bit more, to trust us, because at the end of the day, we don't want to give them bad juice. We want to give them the stuff that we would be drinking at home, or what we think they are going to enjoy to be drinking. And I think as long as we do that to the best of our ability, I think everyone's going to benefit from it in the long term.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think the rating system absolutely has a purpose, has had a place. I think it's ingenious. Had Robert Parker, rather than establishing this rating system and then using it to personally rate all these wines and then publish that, if he had started to teach classes to folks on how they can rate their own wines, it could be even further reaching, right? To actually teach the consumer what it is to truly rate and appreciate a wine on their own. It could have even more far-reaching effects. But it really, the idea of simplifying all of it down into a single 2 or 3 digit number that corresponds to quality, I think is ingenious. And I mean, I think it's what the growth of the industry understood and needed.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think folks are now getting a much better understanding. I have more and more people now than ever I have explaining to me that, well, they don't know about scores, but they know what they like.
Right.
And they're now aware
Also-
of, they know that they like Sauvignon Blanc, and they don't like Chardonnay, or they like Riesling, and they don't like Pinot Grigio, or they love Pinot Grigio, but they don't like Chardonnay or Sauvignon Blanc. Like, they're able to draw those connections now more than ever. But, so I think that, and I think that the scoring system has helped get us to that place,
Okay.
for sure.
And I will also add that one of the reasons I think that scores are becoming less significant in our industry is because we are seeing more and more wine competitions. And, there's 100 different wine competitions in the United States each year, and consumers are starting to buy and follow these wine competitions, and for whoever succeeds and receives a gold medal at these wine competitions, they're going out and purchasing those wines in almost the same manner that they would a 100-point wine. For the producer, it automatically generates sales when they score well in one of these competitions, and I think there is a little bit less of a bias because you do have a panel of judges, the professional individuals judging each one of these wines and collectively coming up with a medal for this specific wine, and it's all blind, and so I feel like that is also helping to downplay the significance of scores.
Yeah, it's another avenue
Yeah.
to rate,
And
to be reliable.
again, just with communication, right? I mean, before we didn't really have the means to communicate with hundreds or thousands of people at once, right? Now, one can buy a bottle of wine off the shelf, taste it, and in 140 characters, either give their opinion or ask the question. This is the wine I've had. What does everybody else think about it? Right? And you have this exchange of
We
information.
have a podium.
Yeah, that can really create way more interest, way more. The end game for that, I think, is way more intriguing than one person sitting in a room with 100 bottles of wine around them, or one person standing at a winery establishing the fate of this year's harvest, this
Right.
year's vintage.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you guys coming in and talking about it.
Yeah, no,
thank you.
It's a hot button discussion, and as sommeliers, I think we definitely encourage people to continue to educate themselves, but rely on us as
Yeah.
much as they can. It's you can provide some small guidelines as to what you're looking for. As wine pros, that's what we do. So let us help you guys out there. So that's pretty much what we thought about it, but we would like to get your guys' thoughts, opinions. Are we completely off base here? Are we just biased because we're all sommeliers? So let us know what you think. Craig's Twitter handle, what's your Twitter handle?
C. Collins MS.
Okay, and Devin, what's yours?
At dbrogues, DBROGUES.
Okay, and I'm at Bill Elsey. We'll link all those up. So let us know what you guys think. Hit us up. We'll get back to you, and we'll get the discussion going online.